asleep in the lab. I woke up on a slab, so.
And boom, just like that, before we start, guys, on the 24th of March, make sure you're there on Wise Guys Wednesdays. They have returned, and at 6 p.m., we're hosting a box tournament, and we will only add stuff to the prize pool. So make sure you show up. Make sure you come to our Discord. Guys, you know that VFD got hit. So Virtual World really is at an impasse where it has to learn, okay, what's next. Now, a lot of people are trying out the stuff, whether that's the Inzector Exabeetle stuff with the Beatrice dumping the Buster Lock stuff, and then you being able to snatch it back onto the field with the Exabeetle in a roundabout way of basically trying to pull off what Union Carrier would used to do way back in the day. It's just not worth all that. I promise you, Dragon Link is going to do that just a lot better, so I don't even think that's worth it. I do, however, feel like the baseline combos that people should know basically are going to get you to a Tzolk'in and to a Crystal Wing play, and I feel like Tzolk'in is the best route to take the deck. As of right now, obviously, with new metas, it takes a second for people to figure out what to do, and I feel like with the LCS being so soon after the list, I don't expect to see it, and I haven't seen it in any lists so far as top cuts, and I'm pretty sure by the time that I actually get to put out this video, I'll probably just slap it in at the end. It's really not getting that far, and it's because people just haven't had enough time to figure out Virtual World stuff. But this is pretty much the baseline combo of, if you start off with Lulu and you start off with a King Long, your board is pretty much going to end a Dragoon with an M7 and a Crystal Wing, and then probably some other cards, because you're obviously going to have more than 2 or 3 cards in your hand, right? Right. So pretty much it's a strong combo, but it's just not VFD Chuche, and most of the time, you should be able to end with Chuche behind all this, but you know, you have to kind of have a god hand. As far as this one, if you don't actually open the Lulu, but you can still get to the Lulu very, very quickly, obviously with the double dump and the King Long being able to search that out afterwards, you're obviously going to have an extra step. So the first combo that I showed, and the first combo that you probably already knew, if you've been messing around with the deck, you probably already knew about this. If you've done any sort of research, the first combo was 4, and this one is actually 5. So obviously, to start off with, it seems that Nibiru is really still easy to play through with the deck, which makes it at least relevant to start with. However, when you don't always open up the most optimal, you may have a hand like this. You may have to sit on something like just a Crystal Wing with a Gossip Shadow. Now, when we put that aside and we start to talk about the hand loop version, I don't think the hand loop version is nearly as good, not even close. But I do think it is at least something you're going to have to note. At least I struggle to find a word. Like it's not good. Like, hand loops aren't great unless they're like on Gumblar's level. And while this one is really, really interesting because it's just a lot going on, and it's just the Beast of the Pharaoh looping itself over and over and over again, and obviously with all the rank 9 stuff that I played Generator, so I know about all kind of rank 9 stuff, and there's so many other decks that have rank 9 stuff in them. But long story short, this hand loop is really, really strong, and it usually it can get to 4 automatically almost every single time, but getting to 5, it's whether you play the Trish at the end of the combo. But as far as being able to keep Gothams and then bringing back Gothams with the Cloud Castle and then making another way or banishing a Chuche to make this level go up or this level come, like you constantly, the whole focus, even in your extra deck, even in the way you would even build a deck, is to go balls to the wall and try to hand loop the hell out of somebody. Now, is that going to be optimal against decks like, say you do that against Burning Abyss? That's not a good idea. They're still going to do what they want to do. Say you rip something out of Shadal's hands and they Hedgehog and they just add another Shadal. Then what did you just accomplish? That's what I mean. So, long story short, the hand loop version is cool and all, but it's just not optimal. Now, as far as the deck list, guys, super duper basic. I'm not a Virtual World player, and I will let you know that again. I'm not a Virtual World player, so I kept it as basic as possible. So starting off, I'm playing 3 Ash, 3 Gamma, and obviously, if you see deck lists that have topped over the weekend in some kind of box tournament, I think there was one the other night. You might want to go check it out. But as far as keeping it simple, I really feel like that's the way right now, and the Zulkin way is the way. So this is probably how I would play it. 3 Ash, 3 Gamma, 3 Nyan Yan, just because why would you not play 3 Nyan Yan? Same with Lily, same with Lulu. The Tao Tao, obviously, I go off of what I see my teammates play pretty much, and I've never seen them play more than one, so I don't see why I would. Lao Lao at 3, and then obviously you have Gigi at 3. The driver, obviously, because you have to play it with the Gamma, and then emergency teleport. Sometimes, like, you know, like the card is phenomenal, but it's also like strange in this deck to me. It's just my opinion on it. Being an outsider. Double Foolish, double Desires, and double Talents. And then as far as the other virtual world stuff, you play 3 of everything, and then 1 of the Janwu. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. I really get tired of all the pronunciations. Getting in the side deck, just really streamlined basic stuff again. Everybody's obviously kind of worried with the bird up deck, and then this deck is still going to hang around, so I feel like Lancey's not going to fall off. I do feel like cards like Droll are going to fall off, and Imperm is going to rise, Valor is going to rise, cards like that, because Drytron has faded back from being where it was, but I also think that's a good thing for Drytron, which we'll cover in the next video. And then obviously you saw with some of the combo pieces inside of the combos that I was showing just now, that the end board pretty much revolves around, first of all, getting to Zulkin, and then to a Crystal Wing. And then obviously after that, and you could add some stuff. I was thinking with the Gamma, I could add stuff like Halka Fibrax and then Desert Locust, or for doing that on your opponent's turn and then being able to go into a Shin Shin on your opponent's turn. Or you can do stuff like put in Omega, you know, like I don't know, man. It's up to you. If you really love Virtual World, I'm sure this could be a hell of a lot better deck list. But for what I was trying to do, just to show everything, I really feel like this is at least a good starter list. I'll just say that. Moving into the hand loop version, again, this is the trash version of me. I don't think it's that good, but it's just, the reason why I say it's not that good is because the more you get hand trapped, the more it goes down, and you're going to get hand trapped because everybody's playing hand traps. And pretty much you only have one Call by the Grave that I'm not even playing inside the deck, so it's like right off the bat, like, is that really that great? Not so much. However, Desires and Talents help to kind of cover your behind still the same way, but pretty much everything is pretty much the same. I think I think it was 2-2-2, and then this is like 1-2-3. You know, it was just me trying to wrap it up. But the extra deck is pretty much where the highlighted differences are, is because you don't have to play the Trish, but your hand loop will pretty much stop at 4. I have yet to do the hand loop without Trish being all 5 of the cards, and you pretty much, you got them twice, or usually 3 times. I guess you got them the first time, and you Cloud Castle it back twice. That's 3. Then if you can land one of these, it's 4. You may be able to get to another 9, which could get you, you can't do this twice in a turn. However, you can do it later on in the game, and you're probably going to end up with a Trish on the field for the last summon, which would rip all 5 cards from your opponent's hand. However, with the amount of decks that we have, where, like if you run into Andres Torres and he's playing Burning Abyss, and you just rip the Graph or a Seer and all that type of stuff out of his hand, or a Scarm or anything, the floating is going to keep going. You rip a Hedgehog, like I said before. It's the same type of thing where it's just like the hand loops aren't quite as powerful as they were, unless you really know that your opponent won't be able to do anything. Very similar to Gumblar. Guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is just a really basic welcome to the new combos and a new meta type of video. And I'll see you next time. I'm out. YG, baby.